Now, I don't know what you call these kind of genres, but I haven't seen any reviews. But I imagine you get those kind of people talking about, man, this movie's a bunch of action and no story or something, and they just do that kind of crap. These are the kind of movies that you get less than you actually know. There's so many other movies that, when I do videos, I can't think of the top of my head. Is, they're like, let's say like Commando, but that's like really old. I was trying to think of something different than Commandos or something more earlier on, where it's like an action thing, a whole bunch of shooting, it's called Shoot 'em Up. That was a really dumb movie. But what I'm saying is those movies are not relatable of these kind of movies. I'm trying to say, this genre started with The Raid, this kind of genre, because I mean none of those other movies, those are just some random shooting and not really, the kind of stuff that what you went to go see Shoot 'em Up to get this kind of stuff, but they still kept it kind of for kids or something, where a guy would like, shoot him up. I think it's shoot him up. He'll shoot a drawer and the drawer comes out and it hits the guy in the head. No, this is the stuff that we've been waiting for, but movies have always been holding back. So it started with The Raid 1. And then, after The Raid 2, which is my favorite movie and Samuel Jackson's favorite movie, there's movies that attempt to do things like this, and they have too many misses on it. And one of them is, I don't know the name of it, but I don't know if I drive 2 hours to go see this movie. I don't think I did. I can't remember. I don't think I did. And it was the guy from The Raid. I call him Rama. I don't know his name, Equal Oasis or something like that. And he fights this guy that's actually in this movie. And it was hard to take that movie serious. And like the final battle is you fight some old guy. Yeah, but I still, went to go see it, and I thought a lot of it was complete, just forgettable, scenes, and just nothing. I can't remember. It's just every action, a lot of the action scenes were forgettable. I'm gonna get to the point is all these movies, this genre has really not really been there until this guy finally came back and, from The Raid and Raid 1. So I kind of messed up. I meant to say that. And the next one was The Night That Comes For Us. That is on Netflix. I did, let me get back to that one about him fighting some old guy. And I did remember saying in my review, like, there's like weird things, the part where the girl who plays Hammer Girl, who was also in the movie, where she shoots at him and goes, and he starts doing this and he throws a knife at her. I'm like, what? You couldn't tell she wasn't trying to shoot you? And she even turned her head, I think, or something, and starts shooting. I'm like, and then the next one, and I forgot what else was wrong in that movie, but the next one was The Night That Comes For Us. And I said that movie was going really good. It was going really good. But the problem was they saved the best part of the movie early on in the movie and not for the ending. I'm like, you don't do that, because after all that action, it was just a whole bunch of talking of story that I didn't care about. And I just said they had like two weird things is the part where Rama again do that, he wakes up from a dream and starts like, or something. And I'm like, dude, that's just cringing bad. It's just that they thought that that would work or make any sense for The Night That Comes For Us. And then I compared The Night That Comes For Us for the Raid 1 and Raid 2. And I said, in the final fight with Rama, or whatever his name is in that movie, The Night That Comes For Us, I said these are demon punches. Like I was trying explaining, the sound effects that the Raid 1 and Raid 2 does is great sound effects. The Night That Comes For Us, it was, how do you say, it sounded like demon punches. Like when you watch those demon movies and they punch you, they just didn't, it was just taking you out of the fight. And I'm pretty sure there's other movies that, attempt, and I will mention even John Wick. I will mention John Wick, as in John Wick movies. I like the first one until after the club scene, and then I've been saying my reviews where other people got blocked for trying to argue with me, and the director came out later and said he ran out of money. I like John Wick 1 until the club scene. After the club scene, it died out, and I said, I bet you they ran out of money. And that's why they gave that ending. But any other John Wick is just him holding up like his jacket to dodge bullets, which literally makes no sense to cover his face. I just thought all of it's weird. It's just like, You know, I know he keeps getting shot in the back, but he's bit by a shotgun, but that's a suit, and it's just, you don't care. You're just watching. This movie's kind of that way, because Ray 1 and Ray 2 is, each time I was wondering, is Rama going to make it? And then the first one I was playing is, I actually didn't know who the star was. I have a problem with Asians, so I'm like, they all look alike. I'm sorry. No, but I just, but that can happen to me. Well, I don't know why. I'm sorry, but that's true. But so I forgot about the guy in the beginning that says, "I'll bring him back." I forgot who that was at the time. I wasn't, had my mind focused on him. So I didn't know who the star was. And that's one thing that people was like, I show people was like, who's the star when certain people start to die? The Raid 2, I don't know why, but normally I wouldn't feel this, but I felt that when they were doing the search for the Raid 2. I felt like, I felt that music and, the music was really well. For the Raid 1. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get on the Raid again because that's my favorite movie. I'm sorry. But I would just say, I was going to say more about what I love about the music for the Raid. It has hit certain points when he hears his son on the phone and they play that music where you knew what he's fighting for. I had to quickly just say it real quick. But the next one is when Rama was standing there at the ending and all those guys were standing there. My heart dropped. I was like, do not ruin a perfect movie. And they had a perfect ending. I love the last word that was said. Because I thought it'd be like one of those things where like he's charging at them and then you hear gunshots and then the screen goes black or something. I thought he was like, do not ruin this movie. It's a perfect ending. So this movie, the only movie I can think I compare it with is, I don't know his name, but he's the one that died from cancer for Black Panther. I used to know his name, but I'm not one of those people that try to remember people's name that I don't know. And, that's it for a story. So, but the movie where it's called Brooklyn or something, I don't know what it's called, where he's a cop running around the city trying to catch that guy. To compare which one is better, this movie is better. I can't remember everything that was wrong with that movie. The guy who's from Black Panther, but he plays that cop running around the street, says, he's mine, he's mine. That line was so stupid with me. But it was just like a certain part where, like, I'll say like a dumb part, and I'm showing what they did on this movie that kind of makes it kind of like, that's all right, but I still enjoyed myself. Where the one for Black Panther, that movie here was in, he solved the case of a cop not having a gun on his ankle or something. I'm like, dude, you just solved the case right there, but you're still going through this whole movie like you don't know what's going on. Or I don't know. I'm like, you just really showed right there that you caught this cop for lying or whatever he did. I can't remember, but I remember feeling, case is closed. You solved it. But nope, they just kept on going and going and going. And they gave you a dumb ending. This movie, it was going fine, but it's kind of like, let me one more. That's one thing I do want to say this, but I guess I'll say at the end. Notice how I bring up other movies. It's kind of like, my favorite superhero movie is Batman v Superman. I think it's my fifth favorite movie, I think. And I don't like the extended version. And one of the extended versions, there's several things I don't like about extended version. One of them is when Batman takes this box or whatever you call it, I can't think right now, and slams a guy, and it slams against a guy's head against the wall, and you see blood scrape down the wall. Some reason I just can't stand to see that when it comes to Batman and that kind of blood, crate, maybe that's what you call it. I can't think right now. And so this movie is just one of the random things happened with that last Rambo movie, where it's like I was saying, a lot of these kills are totally unnecessary. He's just shooting people when they're already dead. There's someone that's hanging from a window, had to wind it several times. I'm like, hey, why did you do that? Got shot up several times. It's like, I'll go ahead and spoil this because it's not that big of a deal. I had to wind several times. I'm like, trying to see, does this person move at all? Someone is literally hanging dead with their head down. And someone rushes to grab their gun quickly. As a dead person, not moving at all, rushing to grab the gun before that dead person gets it, and then shoots him over 30 times. And I'm like, that's just mistakes that you don't make in movies. That's all huge, but everything. So almost something like that could really destroy a movie right here. I mean, because it's kind of hard to Like what? So, but what made up for it? I was wondering about some Asian girl. She looks so familiar, but I can't get a good look of her face. But she had that blonde thing, or like blonde hair or something. They gave her a little scene that I thought that made up for it, made it interesting. And but basically, the ending. Um, it didn't like have no big impact or any like big, thing, but I enjoyed it. Honestly, I enjoyed it all the way up into the final shootout because the final shootout, um, this has some randomness to it. But it was still cool, because this is what you walk in for. So you don't really not really walk in because it's on Netflix, but that's what you're waiting for. But at the same time, you know, uh, it's still to me. I feel like it beats the night that comes for us. I I do like the night that comes for us, where I think is after when they're fighting in the SWAT car, and I love the music for that. And I've been trying to look for the night that comes for us to listen to that kind of music to work out to. It doesn't exist. It's just someone trying to make their own version or something, edit it and and take out the words, but and you can hear kind of the talking of the movie. But yeah, so certain things about the night that comes for us I do like. More as an action, but this one still has more of a, you can think more. The night it comes for us, those action scenes, you're actually turning off your brain. You're completely turning off your brain. But they're still fun to watch. This one, you can still, feel like there's a threat there. Like you can feel certain things. So this one, why this was one is the best one since the raid 2 and 1, since the raid 1 and 2. The raid 1 and 2 are all in my top 10 favorite movies. But anyways, I gotta go. I can't really think out of my head how it really goes. I'm pretty sure it's the raid. I can't go to 10 probably, but raid 1. Well, let me see. Oh, but how I mentioned other movies. Usually, like somebody gave me a comment says, you're skinny, you're on thin ice or something. I don't remember what they were saying or something. There's some word they use where it makes sense. Where I was saying that sinners suck, but do another video talking about Trump supporters are stupid and racist or something, and it's saying how I'm like dissing sinners and dissing Trump supporters, something I'm gonna have no one on my side or something. And the thing is, I was trying to explain to him is, yeah, I know if I'm saying something like the movie Sinners, starring majority of blacks, or I'm saying Snow White sucks, anything that imagine that the KKK or racists will want, I will get a lot of people like that rush into my video to praise me. Where I said about Star Wars Force Awakens, I usually check to see if someone who agrees with me looks up hate channels, then I block them. If they go on to extreme and says this movie, yeah, you're right, man, this movie was terrible, block. Because it wasn't terrible. That means that there's a big heads up. Or I will have, like I said, I will block someone's like, you don't know what you're talking about, you're stupid, this movie's epic. One, you're being blocked for saying epic, but two, just trying to be negative when I'm trying to be honest as possible, So, but also overhyping something or totally trying to down something, disgrading something for way too much. But so when someone says this movie's epic or something, I like it when someone at least, if they're going to say something like that, which most likely give blocking ways if I say a movie sucks and you say that. I don't like misleading crap on my channel. Say what movies you do like. That's what I said. When I talk about things, I talk about movies I like and don't like, so we can know we're in the same page. Because other things I wanted to get into, I don't think it's in the same genre, but it's still close. Is The Man from Nowhere. It's not a different genre, but I do like, which I hear just bad criticism from only the internet, but I still like it in the same way. I kind of feel like I like it better than A Man from Nowhere, but A Man from Nowhere does make my eyes watery every time at the ending when it comes that you come for me, mister. Yeah, it always makes my eyes watery. But what was I gonna say? But I, some reason, still like No Tears for the Dead more. I still like it because A Man from Nowhere is probably like 10 minutes too long or 15 minutes too long. I can't remember. Where I felt like they had some unnecessary scenes for like 10 minutes or 5 minutes. I don't know. But what was I going to do? But so yeah, the movie is it's just the ending. It's just like you're just watching shooting. Now you're just watching killing. Now that's what it turned into. Was there anything else I wanted to say? Anytime I had nitpick, I was fine with it. It was like, why is that girl whooping people's ass? But at the same time, when I was watching what's it called Dead Dawn Until Dawn, I was sitting there thinking to myself, I just wish these females would just like not have like the girl that seems so easy to kill, so soft, and I wish they all had that, get away from her, you bitch, like Terminator 2. All the girls had that energy to be willing to fight back and not be so, oh my gosh, I'm scared. So I just wish when they do movies like that, you have just not trying to make it like that one girl, make it all the girls or something. So I was sitting there thinking about that while I was watching that movie, and then now I'm watching that scene and I'm thinking, why you gotta be so tough? No, that hit me. Yeah, I want you to be tough. So any complaints I had is the main complaint is that guy shooting up a guy that's already dead. There's no excuse for that. But no, I'm serious. There's no, because that's a big, a negative for me. But it's the ending is okay, but I didn't enjoy it up to the final ending. So I want to say there's only two movies I like in Netflix. It's this movie and The Man from Toronto. But this one is all right. It's all right. It's almost Bible, but it's like one of those Bible things if, for Black Friday or something. So I'm glad, because like I said, I've been worried about Netflix coming out with a movie I finally do like and want to buy. This wasn't 100% it, so this doesn't upset me. So, but A Man from Toronto was the only one, and it came out for Blu-ray. And I said, all of them. It was the only one I liked, and it came out from Blu-ray. And I think on social media it's supposed to be attacked or something. And, those are the kind of people who are still talking about John Connor and crap. All right, peace.